team. Then I got thinking...
Right from the movie, I guess.
I know it was. And then, this weekend past, they had the Super Bowl with Green Bay and Pittsburgh, two of the real iconic franchises. And, a lot of folks were talking about how many people were wearing Packers gear and Steelers gear. And it got me thinking about what were the best logos in sports? What are the ones that most closely identified with teams? And what are the ones that stink, frankly, and don't do the message?
New York Yankees, I think, has to be probably up there as number one in North American sports. I would have to think, but definitely, in hockey.
Not too far behind, yeah.
Yeah, Packers for sure. I mean, you go all the way back to, obviously Vince Lombardi and been around there right from the start when this whole thing kicked off and they were winning the championships there. But, in hockey, obviously, I think it has to be the Montreal Canadiens and the Leafs.
Toronto will be pretty close second as well. Chris Creamer runs a website. It's sportslogos.net, chriscreamer.com, where he sort of ranks, evaluates, and gathers all of these things. Chris, first of all, thank you very much for joining us. And was this a good weekend for logo watchers with Pittsburgh and Green Bay in the Super Bowl?
It was a great weekend for logo watchers. Could you ask for a better-looking Super Bowl matchup than Packers versus Steelers?
Yeah, two of the real iconic franchises, aren't they, in terms of longevity and profile and success, huh?
And also, I was going to say, Chris, if you have like a really nice yellow shirt that you wanted to wear, if you're fans of either team, you could have brought it out of the closet.
And you could have said you're cheering for whoever team won.
That's right. Then you jump on the wagon, after that.
Right. Exactly.
Let's talk about, logos and logo biz. It is a big business, but talk about some of the logos that have, maybe gathered some steam, gathered momentum, and, are identified with teams. Who are some of the better ones? Derek mentioned a few. What are some of the other ones?
Well, right now, the really popular logos right now really have to be like, say, the Pittsburgh Penguins or the Washington Capitals. If you look at how popular Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and Alex Ovechkin are in the league, those two teams are just dominating jersey sales, especially in the NBA with the Miami Heat and the LA Lakers, just so popular right now in North America. But if you want to go back to iconic symbols over the years, you mentioned the Packers, you mentioned the Steelers, the Yankees, the Dallas Cowboys, the Leafs, the Canadiens. These teams haven't changed their logos in, maybe 50, 60 years. And as soon as you see that logo, you know exactly what it is. And it just identifies with fans all over the world.
You talk about identifying with fans, though, Chris. Diehard fans, whether they're Cubby fans, whether they're Packer fans, whether they're Stamps fans in the CFL or Riders fans or Yankees or Montreal Canadiens or whatever it is, I mean, they have a passion when they see that logo and they wear that logo. And I think Jerry Seinfeld actually put it best as far as that goes, that he said, what, sports fans essentially are fans of cloth. They're fans of jerseys. They're fans of logos. Players come and go, but that logo, those colors, I mean, they live for those.
Well, yeah, like you said, we just cheer for laundry, right?
Cheer for laundry.
Come back, we boo them. We don't care what clothes they're wearing. But you were mentioning fans cheer for the logo. They cheer for colors. It works one way with a team like the Canadiens and the Cubs, something that hasn't changed. But I find, even with teams that keep completely overhauling their identity, say like the Blue Jays, for example, we still love them even though they completely look different. Mm-hmm. But, one thing I don't like about that is that it's hard to sort of relate to the old days of the franchise. You see videos of Joe Carter, you see videos of Roberto Alomar, and then you look at the field today and you got, Jose Bautista looking completely different, wearing a completely different set of laundry, as Jerry Seinfeld would say. But yet you still have to make that connection between the two.
Mm-hmm. Well, what about it? I think there's maybe a correlation between a team that struggles, a team that isn't drawing, a team that isn't popular, and suddenly they up and change their logo, Chris. Is that sort of an attempt to mask the on-field product?
Well, yeah, it's just a way of hiding the bad years, I guess you could say. Trying to think of a good example here. Maybe the New York Islanders a few years back. I don't know if you remember, but they switched to that fisherman logo. Yes.
That was hideous.
Hideous logo. And that was after about 10 years where the team was just horrible.
Capitals tried to do it with the Capitol building on the front as well, too.
Right, exactly. Yep, they switched to the Capitol building, and after a while, it doesn't really hide the bad past anymore. Fans just want what they remember to come back. Whether it doesn't matter if it was a bad history or not. It's just that's the look they grew up with. The Capitals fans remember the red, white, and blue. The Islanders fans remember the blue and the orange, and they just want it back. They don't remember the bad years anymore. They just connect with that identity. And both teams brought it back. And the Capitals look fantastic, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, no, I think they do. And success in terms of a logo that is identifiable, is it related strictly to on-field performance? Because, it seems the successful teams don't tinker with their logos and things.
Well, yes and no. There's a thought out there that if you change your logo after being successful for a few years, you're doomed for a bad season. The Pittsburgh Penguins, after they won their back-to-back Stanley Cups with Lemieux and Yager, they changed their logo and they were done. They didn't win again until Crosby came around. But you mentioned the Anaheim Ducks. They won the Stanley Cup the first year they dropped that old Walt Disney logo. So, it sort of works both ways. You were saying, successful teams don't tinker. Sometimes they do. It just happens. It all has to do with merchandise sales, and if a team gets a new player or they're moving to a new stadium, they just want a completely new identity, regardless of on-field performance.
Well, of course, and then other teams as well, Chris, can have their third jersey or whatever that they can throw on every once in a while just to increase, I think, merchandise sales. But I have a couple pals that are huge Denver Broncos fans, and they like the older kind of baby blue and orange, and maybe just the big D on the side with the horse coming through. I think they're just mad because what happened is I think they all just bought new jerseys, I think, the year before, and then the Broncos switched. The new ones, for example, for the Broncos are a little more streamlined and maybe advanced or new age, but it's not a bad look. What in your mind is a look that really was for the better, where the team switched their logo and it was probably a real good call?
Well, to touch on that Broncos story there, it's kind of ironic that they wouldn't like the new look, considering they've won 2 Super Bowls wearing the new look and didn't really do much before it.
Yeah, I think that they've come around because of that. But I think what was happening is they were just cheap and they were mad because they had the old jerseys. And then when the new ones come out, then you kind of look like a guy that's got the old one, right?
Right. Well, hey, that's part of the game too, right? It gets you to go out and buy new merchandise. Well, what I've always liked is I liked a logo that sort of combines a bunch of elements together to form one sort of look. If you remember the old Hartford Whalers logo,
loved it.
Loved it, exactly. It was very simple, but it said a lot. It was a W for Whalers. It was a whale tail because they're whalers, but then there was a white H created by the negative space in between the logo. Or the Milwaukee Brewers, which is a baseball glove, but was also the letter M and the letter B. It's little things like that I just absolutely love, and I think a lot of logo and graphic fans out there appreciate that sort of thing as well.
Well, you talk about simplistic logos. Look at Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They decided to go back with a rectangle with a hockey stick in it.
Yeah, exactly, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier, in that fans they want to go back to what they remember from the early days. The Canucks, they went to the Stanley Cup in their old stick, or their old hockey skate logo that they wore back in '94. But, fans didn't want that anymore. They wanted the old hockey stick inside of a rink that looks like the letter C.
There you go. No, you did.
It doesn't matter what it is or what it looks like. It's just what they used to wear, and that's all people really care about.
All people get comfortable with. Chris, I want to take a quick time out here on Sports Talk. Got to take a break. We want to get to the best and worst in sports. In each sports. How about that? We'll do it after this break.
A red rose on Valentine's Day, the classic expression of love and devotion. But wouldn't it be better if you got some hanky-panky? This year, give her some long-stem lovin' you'll both enjoy. The Rose Song from Knickers and Lace Lingerie, a silk rose cleverly wrapped in a lacy hanky-panky thong. It lasts longer than a standard rose, and it's a lot more fun. Score some extra lovin' with the hanky-panky Rose Song from Knickers and Lace in Willow Park Village.
Join the Insider Club at QR77.com. The Chorus Online Outlet Mall opens at at 10 a.m. every Tuesday. Just $90 gets you 2 tickets to a select show from Theatre Calgary. See the online outlet mall for more.
QR77, News Talk Sports.
Okay, guys, it's time to talk accessories. No, not belts and purses or cashmere scarves. I'm talking side steps, tonneau covers, and chrome running boards. In fact, $1,000 worth of no extra charge accessories on trucks like the Ford F-150, Ranger, or Super Duty. And if that wasn't enough, how about $8,000 in rebates? Ford calls it the custom truck event. I call it flippin' brilliant. And trust me, you won't be finding any pumps or handbags here. Just tons of accessories to make your truck only at your Ford store.
Some restrictions apply. See paper for details.
Growing season has begun at Spruce It Up Garden Center. They're getting in grower supplies weekly, seeds, trays, soil, and more. It's the smart way to get an early start on your garden. And don't forget your feathered friends. Spruce It Up has a variety of bird food and feeders for winter bird feeding. While you're there, pick up premium birch firewood in bulk or bundles. Spruce It Up Garden Center, open every day south on McLeod Trail at 210th Avenue.
Spruce It Up, the best little garden center in Calgary.
I found the summer sun we lost out on. Just booked my flight to Hawaii.
I found a place to recycle my old cell phone. They're going to plant a tree in its honor.
I found the perfect spot for Italian. Jewelry, that is. I'm starving for diamonds.
Bankers Hall, where the finds are. From hot vacation spots to delicious diamond carats. Find the finds at Bankers Hall, downtown and online at bankershall.ca. $2 parking after 6 and after 10 a.m. weekends.
If you're going to give something special to that special someone this Valentine's Day, wouldn't it make sense to start at a place that has everything you need? Sears has a wide selection of gifts at great prices. All weekend, get 60% off almost all gold jewelry and 15% off almost all designer brand watches. Plus, earn 20 times the Sears Club points on cosmetics and fragrances when you use your Sears Financial Credit Card. On approved credit, details in store. Give a gift from the heart this Valentine's Day. Find it at Sears.
Do you want to get the most out of your HD TV? Then you need to feed it Movie Central in HD. You'll get the most HD movies, over 300 blockbusters each month, like The Expendables and Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, all in awesome HD picture quality and sound. And Movie Central HD is included free with your subscription to Movie Central. Guys, HD TV cannot live on sports alone. Sign up with your TV provider today and feed your HD TV.
After the buzzer goes, the talk begins. You're listening to Sports Talk with Mark Steven and Derek Bidwell on QR77.
Little lightning round talking about sports marketing, sports logos, because we had two of the best in the Super Bowl this weekend. So let's get to it. NFL logos. Best, worst.
Best NFL logo.
Well, I got Derek in on this.
Mm-hmm. You go ahead, Chris.
Go ahead. Okay, I'm going to say the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
It's just so simple, and it's inspired so many other teams to use it. Edmonton Eskimos, for example, or the Georgia Bulldogs. Yeah, it's so simple. The G stands for greatness, by the way.
I know most people think it stands for Green Bay. It's for greatness.
Yeah, and they showed that this weekend.
There it is. That's for sure. Worst. Okay, Derek, best NFL logo.
Well, I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, and I'm not just jumping on the bandwagon. I always like the Green Bay Packers, so I can't really say that I like something better, even though Chris said that. I really can't pick another one that stands out more for me because I'm a Packers fan.
New York Giants.
You're going to go. The other thing with football, though, I was going to mention too, is that in general, I think it goes back even to more to because college football has been around a lot longer than pro football has, and the helmets there. I mean, you talk about certain schools where they just put a number on there, or just plain white, or like Penn State where it's white with a blue stripe down the middle. I mean, things are a little more simplistic, I think, and that I think comes from roots in college football into the NFL. I don't know, Chris, if you agree or not, but.
Oh yeah, I agree completely.
All right. Worst logo in the NFL.
I'm going to go with the Bengals. It's just an orange bee. It's different. It's unique. But the logo that they use, I'm just not a fan of it. They used to have an old logo which was a Bengal tiger jumping and growling, and then they switched to something simple, just an orange bee with black stripes.
How about the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Well, you know what? That's a good runner-up too.
It's just some spotted lizard that they got on the side of the helmet.
That's a jaguar. Come on.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if there's Jaguars. I mean, Jaguars is just as good as any as far as the bottom of the barrel goes for sure.
Top NHL logo and worst NHL logo.
My favorite NHL logo would be the Capitals alternate logo. It's an eagle coming out from the top of the U.S. Capitol Dome. Just looks beautiful on the red, white, and blue. Beautiful. Love it.
How about the classic Montreal Canadian, the Saint Flanel?
Oh, well, come on. That's a classic. That's eliminated from the running.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a little bit of an easy one there. You can't just go with that one. Everybody would just go with that one. I personally, although I'm not a huge fan, I just really like the logo and I like the colors. I like the Islanders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's clean and classic.
Mm-hmm. They won 4 cups with it.
Okay. Worst in the NHL.
Worst in the NHL. Go ahead, Chris.
Anaheim.
Well, we're watching them right now, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oh, they don't look very good, do they? I mean, they're winning, but they don't look very good.
Kind of that Duck D, I guess, Ducks with a D, and then, I don't know, some type of thing coming out. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Nothing says Ducks more than the word Ducks on your jersey. I mean, you can do a little better than that.
Yeah, it's a little lacking on the creative side of things. I'm not a huge fan of Tampa Bay's myself either.
So. That's going to change, I think, next year, or plans anyway. But you're right. I'm kind of with you.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I'm not sure about the Columbus Blue Jackets. I don't know where Columbus is. I don't know why they need blue jackets, but that's another one.
You know, one logo that I did like though is a throwback, and I still do, and I think I'm going to order a jersey. Is the old Colorado Rockies.
Oh, the hockey team, right?
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. Well, what they did was they just took the Colorado state flag and slapped it onto a mountain.
That's right.
It's so simple, but it works, right? The color scheme is beautiful.
Major League Baseball, best and worst.
My favorite baseball logo, I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Brewers, the current one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, different, right?
Very for the Yankees is the obvious, and
I always go away from the obvious.
Okay, all right, that's your job, that's your biz.
My favorite is one that's no longer around, but I like the Montreal Expos.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't know we could take old ones.
Yeah, current franchises.
Not fair.
Oh, okay. Well, you have to come back to me then.
Worst in baseball.
The worst baseball logo? Well, I hate to say it, the Blue Jays. Oh,
is that right?
It kills me to say that. It doesn't look like a logo. It looks like it's the J head with the futuristic AYS at the end of it. They're not even called the Jays. They're called the Blue Jays. I don't know. It
doesn't resonate.
Stomps all over the team's tradition. I know they had to do something, but
this isn't it.
You know what I used
Washington Nationals.
Oh, Washington Nationals? Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's the team.
Well, the whole thing is just kind of...
Yeah, I agree.
Just kind of... you know what I used to like, though? I used to like the Padre with the Padres.
The actual Friar?
Yeah, the Friar, on the side there. Yeah, wasn't he leaning on a baseball bat and all that or something like that? And had his hand on his hip and his feet crossed or something like that. I liked that with the Padres as well, too. Wasn't so crazy about... What was it? What were the color? It was what? They were white, dark brown, and yellow. Yeah. Was there an orange in? And there was an orange in there too.
That was no orange. Black and yellow, pretty more dark brown and yellow.
Dark brown and yellow, and with white or whatever, depending on their jerseys. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was...
People say they look like Taco Bell employees.
All right. Well, Chris, it's great to get caught up with you on some of these things about what's going on, the trends, and some of the iconic ones. And we appreciate you taking some time tonight. And we'll watch those ugly Blue Jay uniforms all season starting soon. And appreciate you taking some time.
Direct your hate mail to Chris Creamer and all you Jays fans out there. No.
Check it out. All right. Sportslogos.net's the website. Everybody check it out.
Appreciate it, Chris. Thanks very much.
No problem.
All right, coming up, we're going to check in on an iconic board game in sports.